Okay, hello everybody. We are the Learning Technology team at the Royal Agricultural University. We're delighted to present a tile today. Some of us attended the previous tile session in February. We're going to deliver a team presentation today exploring collaboration, innovation and expansion with specific reference to our technology-enhanced transnational learning or TETL journey. So before we get into the presentation itself, please do allow us to briefly introduce ourselves to you. There are 5 members of the Learning Technology team at the university and 3 presenters representing the team today. So we have Chantal Schipper, who is a learning technologist. We have Peter Tolley, who is a learning technologist. And for the presentation today, Husna Ahmed is a learning technologist. And Lisa Musto, Junior Learning Technologist, and myself, Pip, a Senior Learning Technology Project Officer. So the Learning Technology team itself sits within a kind of wider and more integrated digital innovation team within the university, and it encompasses IT services and the library too.
Thanks, Pip. Hello, everyone. So we're lucky enough to find ourselves on a wonderful campus just outside of Cirencester. We're in the heart of the Cotswolds, surrounded by rolling fields and prime real estate, so great inspiration for our students. We have a very long history, starting out in 1845, and with our beliefs encapsulated in the motto, and I'm not going to attempt the Latin, but we're caring for the fields and the beasts. And today that still rings true, and it sits perfectly with our strong sustainability focus. As a small institution, we have a strong and close-knit community where we all share in the vision to become the leading specialist university in bringing a fresh perspective to the land, agri-food and rural enterprise sectors. Our academics are recognised for their contribution to research, and our graduates are much in demand in a world where food security, climate change and Brexit present continuing challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Pip. So the Royal Agricultural University, like most UK higher education institutes, acknowledges the significance of developing its transnational engagements beyond the obvious economic returns and expanding its global reach, but to also mitigate student mobility barriers. We have seen the havoc the pandemic brought, to also widen participation and strengthen professional and technical knowledge transfer channels. You see at the table before you, it shows the list of our TNE partners and projects, and we will expand on the diverse mix of partnerships we have as we go through the session. Thank you.
So TNE itself is not just expanding in the Royal Agricultural University alone. It seems to be quite a significant sector trend. But how do we define it? How do we define TNE? So according to a report by Universities UK in 2018, TNE can be very broadly defined as the delivery of an award in a country other than that in which the awarding body is based. But perhaps as TNE expands, the definitions need to expand too. Another publication by Universities UK entitled The Scale of UK Transnational and Education identified that out of 162 higher education providers, over 500,000 students were studying through the TNE route, and that was a significant increase from 2019. According to Wilkinson, exploring the impact of TNE is fundamental in order to make sense of the way that UK HE providers can respond to the challenges of increasing global activity. So perhaps TNE can be understood in the different modes of delivery that University UK identify. For example, they include models like the fly-in model or the dual degree or distance learning or online provision. So we come back to this critical question: how does the Learning Technology team actually support TNE expansion? Well, we do this in a number of different ways. Firstly, we created and have an internationally focused VLE. Secondly, we use Panopto, the popular video tool, for asynchronous pre-recorded lectures. Thirdly, we make use of Zoom, the popular video conferencing tool, to deliver synchronous interactive sessions live in real time. Fourthly, we use Turnitin, a sector tool for assessment and feedback. Fifthly, we use Vivox, a popular Q&A and polling tool. We recently collaborated with Vivox to create a customer story to explain how we make use of Vivox, which has been particularly helpful in the TNE context. There may be an opportunity to use Vivox later. Sixthly, we also support a dedicated learning technology email inbox in order to ensure that we provide support and solutions to problems as they arise. Finally, the LT team, we attend and contribute to a university-wide delivery group for TNE. So putting all of this together, how does the LT team actually make TNE happen? So we identified 4 core themes, and they are teaching, learning, assessment, training and collaboration, infrastructure, research and dissemination of findings.
So me again, and I'm going to start with a tip. There's a collaboration opportunity on the next slide, so get your mobiles ready. So to introduce our Tech tips, in a nutshell, they started at the RAU as weekly emails to our academics to help them get the best use and the best learning out of our technology tools, hence TEL, Technology Enhanced Learning Tips. They're established, well loved and well respected, but academics only make up around 50 of our 230 staff and 1,000+ student community. And as you're hearing, that now extends to international partners too. So as well as wanting to reach more of our community, we wanted to support and develop the digital skills of staff and students. And this is an area that's regularly identified in GIST surveys by employers and the government to address a growing skills gap. And with our hearts in pedagogy first, we never assume that our students and staff come with these skills. So we look for ways to support them. The next slide, please, Pip. Thank you. So in 2022, we expanded tips to all UK-based staff and students, and for them we changed the flavour to tech. So if you'd like to share your favourite digital skills with us, you can collaborate via our Vivox poll, which is on screen now. And by the start of this year, there were clear reasons to extend our tips to our international partners. Importantly, this was to give a fair and equitable experience, but also because we could see a growing need for support amongst both staff and student groups. And we're now at the point where we're ready to launch tips to our international partners. So we split the job of writing between us. We come with different ideas, and 5 writers mean that tips always feel varied and fresh. But what's becoming particularly exciting is collaboration beyond the team. Now, we have tried to involve our UK-based students in choosing and even writing tips, and we haven't had much success, so ideas are welcome. But for our international audience, we're going to trial asking them to send us ideas through Vivox Q&A. And this is really exciting because we always try to tread lightly. We give without asking much in return, but we can't operate in the dark or in a vacuum. And we hope that our students are keen to talk to us because we'd much rather give them what they need than what we think they need. Thanks, Pip.
So we support a long-standing TNE project at Shandong Agricultural University, or SDAU for short. Modules are either in the food or real estate curriculum areas, and example modules could be food and agribusiness or real estate business management. So the project itself operates in a contract capacity. So what does that mean? It just means that the modules are short and fat, they exist in a standalone capacity, and they take place over several weeks in a short amount of time with no VLE presence. Before the global pandemic, teaching staff would fly over to China and deliver lectures and interactive sessions in a completely face-to-face and in-person capacity. But as with many institutions, as a result of COVID restrictions, teaching and learning took place completely online. So we used Panopto for pre-recorded lectures and Zoom for interactive sessions. So we witnessed quite a unique pivot to online learning. Transnational online pivot from pedagogy to pandemagogy. We are now going back to hybrid and face-to-face teaching, so it feels like we've gone full circle. Whilst most modules have multiple choice assessment, we've also supported a range of project-based learning scenarios and assessments with smaller group tasks and a collaborative poster. Both digital accessibility and supporting learning in the second language context were both really important areas that we explored. So in terms of innovation and collaboration, a range of action research projects were carried out exploring topics such as online reading, managing uncertainty, and social annotation. And with the support of JISC, we also explored an external engagement project as a way to support our TNE expansion. So part of this was the opportunity to talk to a range of sector leaders and TNE digital specialists that helped us along the way. The RAU's digital transformation blog, a WordPress blog site, played a critical role in enabling us to reflect on the TNE adventure itself. So this is the first project at Shandong Agricultural University, but we also have another one. The second project at this university is a double or dual degree project, and it was set up quite recently in 2022. Unlike the previous project, students do have access to an international VLE, and the curriculum area involves things like real estate and environmental resources. So thinking about innovation and collaboration then, this project draws on the teaching model developed by the team to support a project at a different university called Qingdao Agricultural University, which will be explored in further detail in the next 2 slides. But it's on a smaller scale with 2 modules running per semester. So it's possible to adapt this model to suit the needs of this particular project. So the project itself is expected to grow, as you can see from the estimated increase in student numbers 2023-2024.
Thanks, Pip. So the next partner in line is Qingdao Agriculture University, or QAU for short. And this is our joint institute partner. It was established in 2020, and currently we have 4 double degree programs being run, with both institutions contributing to the teaching, learning and assessments. And the students gain the double degree awards upon completion. We currently have 780 students with an expected addition of 280 by September 2023. But in addition to that, we will also be having 4 new master's programs to be launched again in September 2023. Next slide, please. So what we did in terms of innovation, Pip has touched on a lot of the digital tools that we use, is more around the agility of what we did and how we did it. So we provided a learning environment that is enabling for the students. We designed and put together the module template that supports the blended teaching model that we use. We built capacity within the staff body and supporting teams. And how we did that is really using the dedicated international VLE to provision our content, ensuring the best digital student experience possible, and also trying to mitigate all the constraints we have with, for example, the China firewall, but also importantly, separating content along partner lines so that bespoke content is given to the right audience. We also designed and delivered staff training using the TPAP model, making sure that that pedagogy and that technology intersection is maximized or optimal. And then we provided support for students in a way that from the beginning of the year, we provide live induction sessions and then built an induction course as reference material that is in addition to the in-year support calls 3 hours through the local teams. But what's also particular, I think to me, is important to mention is how we supported the academics or their training on large class teaching, because the China cohorts have 150, sometimes 200 in a class, and how to improve participation and engagement with those students in the synchronous session, but also beyond that, having things like activity completion and insight reports to inform how we pivot and how we sort of personalize that teaching as much as possible. For collaboration, we trained the partner teams to maximize student support at a local level, and then mitigating that time difference and amplifying student support mechanisms rather. And we worked with student reps to collate feedback, thereby having that student voice in our co-creation, and everything we picked up from that feedback is fed into the next iteration. We have RAU and QAU Scientific Exchange Forum, which allows the staff and students to showcase their academic achievements for the year and share, best practice around sustainable agricultural developments. So every year has a different theme. Next slide, please, Pip. Thank you. So we have International Agriculture University, IAU for short, and this is our newest partner. It is a franchise partner based in Uzbekistan, and it's a brand new university, actually, decreed by their president, and it's currently just being built. We have one program running, and that's being delivered at IAU. But in this particular partnership, the RAU, Royal Agricultural University, holds a dual role. So first as a collaborative partner, but second as a skills training provider for delivering continuous professional development program to aid the IAU academics to build their professional practice portfolio. The student numbers you would see, they seem modest in comparison to China, but we will have 3 new BSc programs launched in September, along with 3 MScs also to be launched in September 2023. Next slide, please. Thank you. So for innovation, we didn't reinvent the wheel. We optimized, we aligned our operating model where possible with what you've seen, or as I presented for Qingdao, and pivoted where we needed to. Again, we provided the learning environment that will support the students' learning experience. And then, in addition to that, we set up the modules pages, but this is in keeping with the UK provision, because the IAU sort of mode of delivery is trying to mirror the UK provision. We also then designed and delivered the academic staff CPD, built on the framework of the UK professional skills framework for that, the IAU staff sort of build on their teaching portfolio or professional skills. And how we did that, again, keeping consistent where possible, is using the international VLE to provision the content for teaching and learning for our partner. But what we did here, in addition to that, is provide exemplar modules for our AU staff so that they could see the different assessment types. And, we could walk through the training and showing them the internal and external moderation activities and all of that as part of their training offering. And then, of course, we had intensive training sessions with them, residentials and online, further promoting, doing the CPD training, as I've mentioned earlier. So the support for student is consistent with what we did with Qingdao at the beginning of the year, providing that induction and also having that bespoke content as a reference point. However, we always make sure that the content is separate and unique to each partner, particularly around e-resource access, because what's available for Uzbekistan may not necessarily be available in China. So for collaboration, we launched a project called COIL, or Collaborative Online International Learning. That's our pilot project. And we used a module that's both being taught at RAU here in the UK and over at Uzbekistan. And the collaboration, included virtual exchanges, and there will be a summative assessment that both cohorts of students will partake and do it as a collective entity. We have an academic forum as well set up to promote research links and further support the academics with, having nominal module leaders in place here to support them in their teaching practice. And then I think the last one is having those regular operational meetings to make sure that we iron out or support them in any issues that they may have or that will arise. Thank you.
Thanks, Pip. So this expansion, future expansion, is such new news that we had to check we could actually share it with you, but we can. And we're really excited that talks are now well underway with Jiangnan University in China and Sharjah University in the UAE to offer new programmes. And with Sharjah, this will also be in collaboration with the University of Bristol. So we're going to be building on established and successful models of international collaboration, and we're very much welcoming the opportunity to work with another UK-based university. So this one at the moment is really watch this space, and we're currently looking forward to meeting the teams involved and taking our new partnerships forward. Thank you, Pip.
So in terms of bringing all the threads of our TNE activity together, we hope that as a team we've been able to provide a robust and thorough picture of how we've explored both innovative and collaborative approaches to TNE expansion through the learning technology lens at the Royal Agricultural University. So whilst we're a very small university, we believe that we have as a team created significant impact with particular focus on TNE since 2020. And we believe that those 4 thematic areas provide a taxonomy of how innovation and collaboration have enabled us to create success and deliver global impact. So I think it's worth mentioning that in 2022, Mittelmeier, Lohmer, Lim, Cockayne and Plona argued that whilst universities continue to learn about new ways of creating intercultural learning space, they still struggle to address its many limits. So expanding ethically is a critical priority, and acknowledging limitations and being more than just a Zoom university. These are really important.